I'm at the Saigon by Night restaurant here in Regina, Saskatchewan. It's near the hotel where I'm staying at. It's just outside of the Chinatown here in Regina. So I saw the reviews on it. Locally, people like to eat at this place. Not known for the atmosphere or the settings, but terrific food. Fantastic Thai food, Vietnamese food, and Chinese food. So let's go inside and check it out. Someone asked me for my card, so he'd like to check out my channel.
Hello.
What's your name?
Carter.
Carter. Nice to meet you, Carter.
Hello.
So check out my channel, okay? Chinese Canadian Roots TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Take care. Nice friendly people here in Regina. Look at this combination plate. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So you got the grilled chicken. You got the pork. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. That's some kind of a roast pork. That's the grilled chicken. So you also have the stir fry shrimp or prawns with the lemongrass. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, that. So these spring rolls, we used to have this kind of spring roll in Vancouver. So nowadays you have the real small ones, but this is the way spring rolls should be made. So I haven't had these kind of spring rolls for a long time because in Vancouver they have those real puny small ones. So here you got the big huge spring rolls, the way they're supposed to be made. Look at that, look at that. Ooh, look at this spring roll. I'd be happy just eating the spring roll. I haven't had this kind of spring roll in a long time. Look at the puny ones in Vancouver. When you get these ones, here, look at that, look at that. Mmm. Wow. Crispy on the outside. A real nice filling with the pork. Mmm. I'm gonna dip it in the this sauce, the dipping sauce. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, people behind me, they're saying the same thing. Look at that. That's what I said. If it impresses me, if the food impresses me, I say, look at that, look at that. I mean, this really impresses me. Ooh, look at this pork. Wow, look at that, look at that. Mm. That's as good as any Vietnamese food I've had in Vancouver and everywhere else. We don't get good spring rolls like that in Vancouver anymore. We used to get really good spring rolls like that, but in Vancouver they don't serve them like that.
Oh.
So I'm really happy.
Yeah, enjoy.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks a lot. Oh, look at this big bowl full of noodles. Look at that, look at that. It's got the beef balls, it's got the sliced beef, it's got some beef brisket, and lots of green onions. Look at that, look at that. I always take the broth from all four corners, north, south, east, and west. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, that's good as any broth I've ever had from a Vietnamese restaurant. So I take the broth from all four corners, north, south, east, and west. And where the broth is the hottest, that's where, ooh, right there. That's where I eat the broth from. So I used to do this all the time. Ooh, right here on the west side of the bowl is where the soup is the hottest. Sometimes when you have the rare beef, it cools the soup off. So today, the hottest broth is on the west side. So people used to think that I was actually doing this by logic, but some people will say, well, you're just crazy. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, look at these rice noodles. Look at that, look at that. So you got the nice beef balls. You got some incredible thin slice beef brisket. and some other kind of beef there. So in Vancouver, they also have the raw beef. Here they don't. And they also have, sometimes they serve tripe, which is the beef stomach. Here they don't, but the bowl is large. There's lots of soup in there. It's steaming hot. The noodles are infused with the soup that has been simmered for many, many hours. Nice pieces of beef brisket. That's tender. A good sign is when you finish all the noodles, there's still lots of beef left. They do have the sinews in there, the beef sinew when they make the soup. So that's very popular in the full soup. You can tell there's no MSG in this broth. It's slow simmered, lots of flavor, and I'm gonna finish all the soup right now. Ooh, that is good. Actually, how long this restaurant has been open?
Maybe more than 20 years.
More than 20 years. Okay, good. Thank you. It's really good. So this is a Saigon by Night restaurant. It has Vietnamese, Chinese, and Thai food. So good reviews on it. It's one of the best restaurants for Vietnamese food for sure. The restaurant specializes in 3 different foods. You got the Vietnamese, you got the Thai, and also the Chinese food. So that seems to be very popular here in Regina and in Saskatchewan when they combine the different Asian food into one restaurant. Now you can order the products and ingredients that I use in my cooking videos. Just click the link below in the description for the Chinese cooking accessory guide. You can order everything online, including the wok that I use and some of the equipment that I use. Today we're making a simple beef and noodle soup. We're using the slow cooker, so this is a simple, delicious recipe for the long winter nights ahead. So let's get started. Beef blade bones were left over from making a beef stew. So this is a really nice soup to make the next day. So I've got some water boiling. So I've got some beef bones. This is a beef blade steak. So I've got some meat on the bones. So I'm just going to boil the bones for about 5 minutes just to get rid of some of the impurities and some of the dirt and fat. It's been going for about 5 minutes, so we got rid of some of the dirt and impurities and some of the fat. So just give the beef bones a quick rinse in cold water. So that'll clean the surface. I'm preheating a wok at medium heat. I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons of cooking oil in there. So I'm just going to sear the ginger and garlic. I got 6 cloves of garlic, 2 thumb-sized pieces of ginger. So when you sear the ginger and the garlic, it'll bring out more flavor in the soup. But if you don't want to sear this, the ginger and garlic, that's fine. Just put it directly in the soup. So I've got a slow cooker here to make the soup. So we're going to transfer the ginger and the garlic into the slow cooker. I'm going to transfer the bones and the beef into the slow cooker. So today we can cook the soup for 4 to 6 hours on high heat or 8 to 10 hours on low heat. I got about 10 cups of water in the slow cooker. So depending on how many people you want to feed, anywhere from 8 to 12 cups will do it. So I'm going to turn the slow cooker onto high setting. So if you don't add anything else besides the ginger and the garlic, you have enough flavor for a basic soup. But we're going to add some more flavor. So I've got 3-star anise. I got 2 bay leaves. I'll put in there. I like to put half a cinnamon stick in there, but since I don't have cinnamon stick, I'm going to put half a teaspoon of cinnamon in there. I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of light soy sauce. I'm going to add a tablespoon of sesame oil. So I like the nutty flavor of the sesame oil. You can add other kind of flavors. You can add some oyster sauce or churro paste to add flavor, but I think we're just going to keep it fairly basic here. So I also like the flavor of veggies, so I put some carrots. Carrots have a natural sweet flavor, so I put about 3 carrots in there. 3 medium-sized carrots. I also have some chayote squash. So if you have daikon radish, put a piece of that in there. I've got a whole chayote squash. I cut it into pieces. So that's going to add some nice flavor to the broth. For this broth, you can cook it in a regular pot as well. It takes about 2 hours. Cover the slow cooker. Let it simmer at high heat for about 4 to 6 hours. So this is the beef that has been boiling for about 2 hours. So just like that, cut all the beef into bite-sized pieces here. So I cut up all the beef here. I'm going to put it into the soup stock. So we're going to add some salt. I got the Himalayan pink salt, which is slightly more salty than the regular salt. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of salt in there. So I'm just going to use a grinder. So about a tablespoon or however much for your taste. So I've got some water boiling right now. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of cooking oil in there. And also put about a tablespoon of salt. So this will help the noodles from sticking together. So I've got some Farkei noodles. These are really good noodles for soup. One of my favorite brands. You can also use other kind of noodles. I've also got other noodles such as this Shanxi style noodle. So this Shanxi style noodles, the noodle is a little more dense and more heavy. Whereas the Farkei noodles, the noodles are a little more light. So that's your personal preference. So I'm going to put a few handfuls of this Farkei noodle. Make sure the noodles don't stick, so just make sure you keep stirring the noodles. So it only takes about 5 minutes for these Farkei noodles to cook. So the noodles are boiling really nicely now, so it's been almost 5 minutes. The noodles are nicely separated because I have a nice big pot here. Lots of room for the noodles to separate. So the noodles I'm going to put right into the strainer now. Just going to run some cold water through the noodles. Just get rid of the starches and to stop the cooking at this point. There you have it. Oh, that's a nice beef noodle soup. There you have it. A simple, tasty beef and noodle soup cooked in a slow cooker. Enjoy. Thanks for checking out my video. And please give me a thumbs up. And be sure to check out some of my other videos on this channel. And please subscribe.
If you get a chance, check out my other channel, the award-winning Chinese Cooking Channel.